Hey guys, this video is about homework G. This has a mix of changing forms along with graphing and being able to write an equation by looking at a graph. So I'm going to show you what 1 and 3 is, and I'm going to do 2 in this video. And then the last part of the video is going to be a little bit review of factoring. To be more precise, factoring a trinomial where a is 1. I don't know if you remember back, a couple months ago, we did factoring, and remember, I did X method with you guys. I did box method with you for a while, but then I converted back to X method and sliding and dividing. So I will review with you how to factor today and tomorrow because that's going to help us solve. But anyways, just want to show you again. And number one, again, what you're giving the graphs, and you have to write the quadratic equation in all three forms. So if you look here, the first thing that you have to be able to recognize is the vertex. The vertex, again, is 0, 9, which is, that point up there. My zeros, 3 and negative 3 is right here and here. That's how I know my zeros. And this is opening down because it is pointing down. So your vertex form, remember, you can write, again, your opposite of your vertex inside, goes inside of the parentheses, opposite of the x of the vertex, which is 0. So, if you want to put 0 there, you can. The negative goes in front because it's opening down, and then you have plus 9 because it's up 9. Now, you don't need that 0 there or the parentheses, so you can write it as this. And this is technically this is vertex form right here. Since you have an A, there is no B, and you also have a C, this technically is standard form as well. This is just one of the only cases where this occurs. It also happens in 3, but I'll show you what happens when that doesn't occur, when they're different. Now, with factored form, please recognize it's opening down, so that's why there's this negative that's in front. Right here, I'm going to make this a little bit different. So this negative is in front because it opens down. Okay, and then our x-intercepts are 3 and negative 3, or our zeros. It's the same thing. Remember, you do opposites then to get that. So this is your factored form equation. Again, hopefully that's pretty straightforward. 3 is very similar, but instead of opening down, it's opening up. My vertex now is down 9 instead of up 9. It's still on the y-axis. My zeros are 3, 0, negative 3, 0, up. Everything is basically the same as number 1, but notice what's not in front of my x's or my parentheses. There's no negative. So really the only biggest difference between 1 and 3 is the negatives. So it's negative because it's opening down there. It's not negative here because it's opening up. So you just leave it alone and just let it be 1 in front of x squared, or you don't put anything there. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do number 2. Again, you're going to have to do this on the homework still, so please don't just keep this blank. You still need to copy this down. My vertex here is 3, negative 4. My zeros are going to be 1, 0, and 5, 0. And this one opens up. Vertex form is the easiest one to write from the graphs, and really the only one. Well, I guess you can do factor form too, but you can't do standard form. You can't do standard form by looking at the graph. You can only do really vertex form or factored form. Vertex form is usually the one you go to right away. But anyways, it's opening up, so no negative in front. Opposite of 3 is minus 3, squaring it, and then it'd be minus 4. So this is my vertex form equation. Now, understand my x-intercepts. Again, this is factored form. Again, just to be clear, I'm following this. So write the equation in factored form. My x-intercepts here were 1 and 5, so 1, 0, and 5, 0, and it's opening up, so my factored form would be x minus 1, because I have to do opposites, remember, x minus 5. So this is my factored form. And then standard form, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can use your factored form equation. Again, you have to use the equations here. You cannot just look at the graph and be able to pull off the standard form. You look at your factor form, and guess what you do? Well, you FOIL, or you distribute and combine like terms in order to figure out my standard form. So x squared minus 5x minus 1x plus 5. And then I combine like terms in the middle. So it'd be y equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. So again, that is standard form. So you have to use your factored form answer in order to get to your standard form. Or you can look at your vertex form. Again, I don't care which way you do it, but you can also do it this way as well. So again, you can write it out twice here. X minus 3 times x minus 3 minus 4. And then you can distribute here. So this be y equals x squared minus 3x plus 9 minus 4. And then you combine like terms. So it'd be y equals x squared minus 6x 9 minus 4 would be plus 5. As you can see, you get the same answer as above, which should make sense. It should be the same answer. But I don't care which way you do it. You can do it either or. You can use your vertex form equation, expand it out, combine like terms, FOIL and all that, get your answer. Or you can just FOIL from your factor form and just get your answer. Does not matter. So again, that's how you do a problem like that. I just wanted to show you that. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if you were going to graph this guy, this graph would be that. Just to be clear, this would be that, and this would be that. They all share, it's the same quadratic, but they just look different. Just to be clear. All right. Now we're going to do a review of factoring. So when we do a review of factoring, remember what we do in class, or what we did in class was the X method. So with the X method, remember, again, you can ignore this side, by the way. With the X method, what you're going to be doing here is, remember, A times C goes up top of your X, and your B goes on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Again, what we're doing, by the way, is we're going from standard form to factored form. So what we need to do is we need a factor. So this is just a review. But anyways, my A here is 1. 1 times 27 is going to be 27. And my B here is 12. So you think to yourself, what are two numbers that multiplies to 27? Again, two numbers that multiplies to 27 and adds to 12. Now you can use your multiplication table or whatever. You can use Google to help you out here if you really need help with the number sense here. But think of multiplication first, remember. So what are two numbers that multiply to 27? Two numbers that come in my mind right away is 9 times 3. And conveniently, if you think about 9 times 3, 9 times 3 is 27, and 9 plus 3 is 12. So 93 are your winner. Now you can put 3 and 9. It doesn't matter what order. Those are interchangeable. So my answer in my factored form be y equals, and then you write it as a binomial times a binomial. Be x plus 9 times x plus 3. So again, that's what you do. So you take these numbers and you put them in your binomial. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do one more. So if you look here, what are two numbers that multiply to negative 10? Because it'd be 1 times negative 10, and add to negative 3. Now, 10 and 1 won't work because you can only get to 9 and 11 when you add or subtract them. How about 5 and 2? Well, 5 and 2 seems like it could work. And then you have to think to yourself, which one has to be negative? Well, the bigger one will have to be negative since I have a negative answer here. So it'd be, what is negative 5 plus 2? Well, that will be negative 3. So now I can come over here. So my answer is going to be x minus 5 and x plus 2. Now again, you can have x plus 2 times x minus 5. You can switch these around if you want to. Again, they're interchangeable. It does not matter what order you put negative 5 and 2 in. But you need negative 5 and 2. That's the only two numbers that will work there. But anyways, that's a review of factoring. You just need to do 6, 7, and 8. And again, copy 4 and 5. And then you have to do 1, 2, and 3. Again, I helped you through these because I know these might be a little bit difficult. But hopefully that kind of made sense what you were doing up here, and hopefully this makes sense. So this is just a review down here, so you should be able to do this. We did this in school, in class, in school, in person. Anyways, please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.